Don't never ever make me say goodbye. Hello and good morning and welcome to Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures here on YouTube. And today, this is going to be a very sad time. Obviously, we're still going to have some fun, but obviously, as you might have heard, we are going to be doing a vlog on the farewell to Banga buses in Codsall, which run the services 5 and X5. Since they started the route originally as the 5 and 5A back in 2023, taking over from National Express West Midlands, the replacement operator will be Chase Rider, which operates services in and out of Cannock and around Stafford. So they'll be taking over the 5, plus they currently already run the service at present, but only on the Monday to Saturday evenings and Sunday daytime. So they'll be taking over the route full time. And I'll explain more on that in the video. So come along with me and let's crack on. Operated by Banga. So we're on SR10 KSV X Vale Travel. So this was like minutes late on departure from Wolverhampton, so it didn't cause a bit of a knock effect, but we will make that time up as soon as we can. And because obviously we're due back here at 13:30 into the centre of Wolverhampton. So I do apologise for the delay of being on this service to Codsall this morning. Wow, what a brilliant, beautiful sunny day it is today in Wolverhampton. And we're just going to now go across the city. So, if you remember, Banga used to operate services that used to run this service in the past when it used to go, when it was known as the 535 and the 634. And that was when they used the older type of content, so that was as well as the usual, as well as like their little mini vans, the bread vans, if you remembered back in the day. And it was 20, and then it was, I think it was shared with National Express, well, under Travel West Midlands, unless Travel West Midlands then took over the running of the service. It was then renumbered to 5 and 5A. And it was also known as the Codsall Clipper back in the day, if you remember the Codsall Clipper. Because obviously they had these segments that were branded for this service. 2020 came along, the 5A was dropped. Obviously it went AWOL whilst the number 5 continued to operate in and around Codsall, and of course there was a sister bus to this one called the 10P that went all round Purton Way to Ruttersley Park, Ruttersley. Obviously that stopped operating in 2023 when the 10 series dropped journeys on that service. And then 2020, and then the same year, National Express West Midlands confirmed they will be losing, that they were going to lose the 5 service from Wolverhampton, the last Codsall service. But obviously they still provide the school service in Codsall. But obviously, with the route was actually taken over by Banga, which we're on, that does Mondays to Saturday daytimes, whilst Monday to Saturday evenings and Sunday daytimes is operated by Cannock-based Chase Rider. And Chase Rider is part of like D&G Centre Bus and has and obviously it also has a little bit of sharing with Select Bus services. So they've taken over the Sunday tender and the evenings, but from May, Chase Rider will be having this route all together. So they'll be having the Sunday, and so they'll be having the Monday to Saturday night times, as well as the Monday to Saturday evenings and the Sunday service. And of course, following on from that, the 70 and 71, which come from Cannock into Wolverhampton, will extend into the bus station to provide the interwork with the service. So they'll interwork with the 5 and the 5 will increase to a half-hourly service, but obviously this next 5 will just discontinue, so nothing will replace it. So here we go, now going along. Started riding Banga in 2017. That was when they had the older type content, so it was like the YFO2 SKO and also a few of the older batch. They had a lot of active old cocktail solos back in the day, up until 2019 when Enviro 200 started to come in as part of the awarding of the tender contract. Which was the 53. So I had a lot of Enviros over the years, and of course I've also diversified into these type of Monterey Solo SRs, with the first one being YD63 UZY, the Exigo one being the first one, which we'll see when we're en route. Now of course recently they also got a street light wheel forward. Obviously, I don't know where that is today. Anyway, so I don't know where the street light is today, but it's nice to see that we're riding an Octane Solo SR. And with Chase Rider taking over the full timetable, I think what buses they could likely put on. Maybe they could put on. Maybe they could put on an MCV, or maybe they could put on. Maybe they could put on an MCV Evolution, or maybe a B7, maybe a solo like this one, or maybe an older solo, who knows? But as I say, anything is possible. Or it could be an NMC, who knows? It could be anything that they can allocate to the route. Because Chase Rider have a lot of batches, especially with the ex-arena ones. Because if you remember, Chase Rider acquired arena mechanics operations back in 2021. Anyway guys, as you know, we are just crossed from the TFW boundary and we're now entered Staffordshire. So we're now in Staffordshire area now. We're North Staffordshire and we just passed the other Codsall SR, which is the one with the leather seats, which is YD63 UZY, and which is one of my favourite Codsall SRs. On the back of the fleet, so we'll be going back on that one. Go on that route on the return journey back into Wolverhampton. And yeah, as you know, this is a very, very nice bus. I like this bus, this Codsall SR. I've not been in Garesby yet, but I've been in the other Codsall SR similar to this one, A-Race and A4. Anyway guys, here we are. As you know, the bus has gone empty, as it might likely goes empty all the way to Codsall. And also shout out to Wentville Traveller, who I bumped into earlier in Wolverhampton City Centre. Lovely to see you, Wentville Traveller. Safe travels, by the way. And also shout out to Black Country Traveller. Well, Wolverhampton bus line it is now. So anyway, Millbrook train station. And just on by is a train run by Transport Wales. So as you know, the X5 takes the direct run to Codsall. This is a very, very fantastic village, Codsall is. Fantastic village. So got quite a few little shops here. You've got charity shops. You wouldn't get major shops, but there is a cooperative here. Co-op, so you've got a co-op. There's a co-op here in Millbrook, and there's Costa, Pendrell Court, and so Codsall. So welcome. So I'd like to welcome you to Codsall now. So our next trip will be on the 5s back into Wolverhampton. Of course, we've got the library here, Millbrook Library. So here we are, this is Wolverhampton Road, so the 5 comes out that side, so we'll be doing the detour on the return journey back to Wolverhampton. So yeah, thank you. So once again guys, thank you for watching. Keep yourselves well, and of course beautiful sunny day here today in sunny Codsall. So last time we were here it was freezing cold, but now we've come to the reality. This is one of the best times to visit Codsall is in the summer months. So welcome then to Codsall. So here's the village of Codsall. So here we are, Codsall. To Codsall. Okay then guys, we are now on the 5 back to Wolverhampton. Well, we came in on the X5 and now we're on the main 5 back to Wolverhampton. So there's the co-op food store where we just been. As you know, next upcoming month, as May approaches, Chase Rider will take over the full running of the service in and out of the village, which will be the only major provider for the general public, as the National Express only will just continue just to do the schools. So we're now on our way back towards Wolverhampton. This is a lovely little village. I remember doing the NX version of the 5 with the B7s. So as you know, Codsall's a very fantastic village, very fantastic. So we've got the same bus, SR10 KF30, as Wardy 63UZY has now gone on to the X5, because I think they swap over at lunchtime, because I remember this before. This is a very impressive Codsall SR. Reminds me a little bit like the Coniston ones, the former Coniston. If you remember the Coniston coaches that used to do 15A, 15C, 294, 296, S15, 133, 213, and of course the 580. Obviously Coniston coaches stopped operating, so now going down Elliott's Lane. Well, I would laugh if it was called Billy Elliott's Lane, named after the musical. The exit we're just passing goes towards Brood, and we're following the Bilbrook Road that goes towards the village of Bilbrook. So we're in district of South Staffs, Bilbrook. So this is Bilbrook, and of course Bilbrook and Codsall will also still be continued to be maintained by the train services provided by West Midlands Railway, formerly known as London Midland, and so there will still be a regular, so there will be the train service that will continue. The train service will not be affected by this change. It will just be only the bus service that will be just changing to a different operator. So that won't be affected. Oh, that was a bit of a bump earlier, a bit of a... So we're going to, fingers crossed, to see what Chase Rider might put on this corridor. This is a very fantastic route on Codsall SR. The Optairs are, really do like the Optairs. So as you know, this route will continue to provide useful links to the local community in Codsall. So this provides good links. So at least there will be a good link. So So we've just gone by one stop. Travel on the service. Obviously you've also got the train line as an alternative option, but obviously I do like the bus service because it takes you around good areas, and turning left goes towards the county town Stafford, which is the county town of Staffordshire. Going right goes back to Codsall and then goes on to Albrighton, which is on the 891 service for Telford. Hopefully I'll get on the annual one again very soon, because I do like the annual one. And of course we've got the station here in Bilbrook, so this is Bilbrook. So we're now going through the village of Bilbrook. So this is Bilbrook. But the direct service will no longer continue because that will likely terminate. But obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but I will keep you up to date for what is happening. But all I know that it is going to discontinue. It will be discontinued. So just overtaking Morrison's. Morrison's lorry had just trying to get past us. Little Morrison's LGV, low goods vehicle. So there's the Staffordshire Fire and Rescue Service, Fire and Rescue Centre, Bilbrook and Codsall Community Fire Station. That's a shout out to Blue Light Fazbear. Here comes Esso petrol station. Now most Esso petrol stations include a Tesco Express, but this one includes an Asda Express. Interesting. Of course there's a Subway as well. I am a massive Subway fan. So here we are, this is Bilbrook, where connections is provided to the train service. So this is Bilbrook station, and we're just right by the tracks of the train services, and they take you to places such as Cosford, go to Codsall, Albrighton, Cosford, Shifnor, Telford, which is Central Station, and then goes on to Oakham, Wellington, and of course Shrewsbury. Just now passing us is the Codsall bound X5, but even though the blinds are through incorrectly, so there's UZY. That was the one. So there's UZY just gone past. YD63 UZY, that is on the Codsall bound X5. Now the thumbnail, as you know on the blind, just ignore the destination
updated, and I probably won't be updated anytime. It won't be updated now because obviously Banga will be dropping this service and will be taking, unless it will be passed on to Chase Rider. So if you want to find all the information regarding the service changes, hop over to the West Midlands bus users website and I'll put that link below both these videos, just to give you a bit of a brief overview so you know that it's referenced.
Anyway, guys, here we go. We are now leaving the lovely Codsall area back into the centre of Wolverhampton. And so anyway, we got the Optare Solo SR, which we had on the X5 earlier. And now we're doing it on the 5 back to Wolverhampton. So, as you know, Chase Rider will be taking over the Sunday. Will be taking over the full timetable because already they got the Sunday and evening service, and now they're going to integrate it into 7 days a week because this was a 7-day a week when NXWM operated the service, and now they're going to be running it full time again. So this is going to be exciting. I'm very excited about this. And I wish Chase Rider all the best in the new service. So, NX gave up running the service in 2023. And Chase Rider took over the running of the service. Banga took over the daytime, Monday to Saturday, and Chase Rider on the Sunday and the evening. So anyway, here's a bit of history of the route. So it was originally known as the 535. And Travel West Midlands ran the service with the Optare XLs, if you remembered the XLs. Back in the day of Travel West Midlands. They were very brilliant. And of course the old West Midlands travel bus flags. And also the Metro buses operated the service as well. So there'd been Metro buses. And so yeah. So as you know... So Banga, so Travel West Midlands had operated for good many years now. Had operated the service. Then I think they started to begin a direct competition. Like NXWM renumbered their service to 5, while Banga buses introduced their own version of the 5 called the 535, the original number. And of course there was the 634 as well. As you know, Banga did a lot of the Codsall, so they did the Codsall service in the past. And Banga buses operated in Codsall for the last couple of years. And of course remembered when they used the Alexander bodied Mercedes-Benz minibuses, because they used to have minibuses on this route back in the day. When it was known as Banga Travel before Banga buses took over. And it's been brilliant. And the 634 operated by Banga Travel. And this service with this service going via Bilbrook, this actually includes the village, while the X5 just goes directly to Bilbrook Station. And so it was 2023 when Bus Enthusiast 2023 went on to the 5, when they used the X Go Ahead London Enviro 200s, the X First London, and it was YX60 FUE and YX60 FUF, and Banga used to operate the 5 and 5.8, it's the 634 and the 535. So here we go, en route towards Wolverhampton. Sorry if the video is muted because there was a lot of copyright music playing in the background.